just a new joinee who's joining us for the part 2 of the video, I would suggest that you go through the part 1 of financial planning video and then join us here. Right, so if you remember that we were talking about your long-term goals, and we had also discussed your child's name, let's say YCY, and 2 years old, and said that we would need perhaps 15 lakhs in today's terms and 10 lakhs for the wedding, right? This is what we had discussed. So I'm just taking you a little back. Just go through all the figures that you've written, and let's start cracking on section 5. Now till now you just doing a little bit of data entry of what you think is required and what you think is happening in your household right now. From now on we'll start do a little bit of calculation to see what kind of financial planning requirements you have. Okay, so let's jump to your short-term risk and need for protection. See, protection would typically be a combination of your long-term protection requirements and your short-term protection requirements. Now, in case of emergency fund, this is typically a short-term protection requirement. If you remember, we had mentioned that you would need a certain amount of figure, which is to meet your monthly expenses. And the monthly expenses figure that we had capped was at 40,000. Then we are saying that your emergency protection fund should not be anything less than 36 into 40,000, which is 3 years of your annual expense. Now this would come down to 14.40 lakhs. And I am not a genius. I have used a calculator, so kindly use a calculator yourself. So your short-term need for protection is coming to 14.40 lakhs. I will go a little more further and see your risk protection, which is your long-term risk protection. So your long-term risk protection, if you remember, the housing loan we had kept at 25, your car loan was at 3, your credit card was 0.50 lakhs, and your personal loan was kept at 2. So this complete was coming out to 30.5 lakhs. Now your protection level would mean the 14.40 lakhs here plus your 30.5 that you receive. So your total protection level would be around 44.9 lakhs. Now that's almost 45 lakhs. Now what is very important to understand in this is that 45 lakhs that we've just mentioned here, 45 lakhs that we've just mentioned is minimum. Now please remember that we're coming out with a minimum figure. Now 45 lakhs is a bare minimum. So this gives you an idea of the kind of protection that you require. So you can choose from a term plan from any insurance firm. You can choose from let's say a whole life plan from another insurance firm, or maybe there's another thing called a mortgage protector. Now mortgage protectors would typically safeguard you against all kinds of housing loans that you've taken. So do have a look at that. Most of the housing loans today bundle this up, but if your loan is not bundled with a mortgage protector, make sure that it's bundled up. So this is the kind of requirement which comes as a basic bare minimum risk coverage. Now this gives you a good idea, right? And as a starting point to begin, where do you want to begin with? And the second thing that we need to come out in this thing after we have done is your goals, right? So we said that what kind of accumulations do you require for your child's education? We said we want 15 lakhs in today's terms, and for a child's wedding we had said that okay, we want 10 lakhs in today's term. Now what is very important in this is the number of years you have to accumulate this fund, right? Now your child is 2 years old. That's what we had mentioned earlier, if you remember. And assuming that for your education purposes, you would require the fund at the age of 25 of your child, and let's say for wedding, let's say 25, and I think for education, let's say 20. Let's not keep 25, that will be too late. So 20 for your education and 25 for your marriage. Then the years to accumulate, if he is 2 or he or she is 2, would be 18 years here and 23 years here, right? So you have around 18 years to accumulate for 15 lakhs in today's term. Now what's very important is that this figure, as we mentioned earlier, is in today's term. Now after 18 years, what would be the value of 15 lakhs? Because there's something called inflation which is going to play on the money. So what we've done is we've tried to create a table of sorts, which is at the end of this form, be the figure from here. Now in our case, the figures that we need to see are this one, because 18 years required for education, and this one, which is 23 years required for marriage, right? So we pick this figure and this figure and take them to the main table that we were filling earlier, right? So we can come back to that table and fill it up again quickly. So what we are saying is that we require 15, we require 10 here, we have 18 years here, 23 here, inflationary havoc 2.4, 3.07. So what we are doing is that, if you multiply 15 into this figure, you will come out with the amount that you require. Similarly, if you multiply 10 into this figure, you will be able to come out with the amount required once your child attains that age. So in this case, it's very simple, 30.7, and 15, 2.4 should be, I think, 36 lakhs, right? So you have figures that you basically need 36 lakhs for your child's education 18 years down the line, and you need 30.7 lakhs for your child's marriage 23 years down the line, right? So if you've seen the figures, what we'll do is we'll continue with this discussion again in video 3. Till then, just make sure that you've done your calculations completely and remember the figures. So see you quickly for video 3. Thank you very much for video 2. See you soon.